Let's see some wealth killers. What kills generational wealth? What is the thing that will kill generational wealth? Why is it that we no longer hear of some families? Here in the UK, abroad in various nations, there are names that once was around, but they have gone because of the wealth killers. Let me give you an example. Many of you who are on the platform, you're from various parts of the world. So I can only give you examples from my own knowledge. In the United Kingdom, we've had names, people, families that have had wealth, and suddenly we no longer see them because somebody came and didn't know what to do. In the country of Nigeria, where I'm from, we've had people who have had unbelievable wealth. Suddenly they are no longer there. In fact, when slavery ended, one of the slaves who came back had made money in, I think it is Brazil and Portugal. His name was Da Rocha. Da, that which means of, Rocha, R-O-C-H-A. So Mr. Da Rocha was originally from Western Nigeria, from a town called Elisha. When he was taken to slavery, made money there, came back with unbelievable money. Began to buy plum land. There was no pipe-borne water in the country. So he single-handedly made water to run through the heart of the city of Lagos. At that time, it was called Lagos Colony because it was under the United Kingdom, and brought water to the area where his house was, and that's how everybody connected, single-handedly, extremely wealthy. I met somebody who met his grandson or great-grandson. This grandson or great-grandson just flows in the name, and began to sell all the houses of his great-grandfather that passed on to him. Living in England, just gambling. We'll come back, sell, we'll come back, collect rent. In fact, sometimes we'll collect 5 years rent, go back, gambling. Go back, gambling. When that is over, we'll come back. If they say, but you've just collected 5 years rent, say, give me another 5 years rent, making 10 years. You go back, gambling. Until finally they say, look, we can't keep giving you 10 years rent. You got to sell the house. So he sells all the houses. Sells all the houses. So poof, the wealth of the wealthiest man that ever knew that part of the world died. I can give you family upon family upon family. Why? Number one, lack of wealth habits. Some of the things we've shared today are wealth habits. And many of the things we've taught on this platform are wealth habits. If you do not have a thing as a habit, you will not be able to repeat it. For example, if a person says, okay, I want to stay without eating every afternoon, he may achieve, oh, somebody found me, Rose Morris. Oh, God bless you. God bless you. Rose Morris was the company that sold me musical instruments where I've made my first good money. Oh, man. Oh, you're making me emotional. You found Rose Morris. Yeah, they used to be on Denmark Road, which is a corner of Tottenham Court Road and Denmark Road. Oh, okay, maybe they're still in Denmark Road because they used to be on Tottenham Court Road. I'll go look for them. Oh, I need to get the name of that man. I think he left them. I want to just go bless him. He's an unbeliever. But he was so kind to me. I cannot forget the day our church took off, KICC took off September 6, 1992. The previous church I used to belong to, we told them all their musical instruments and everything will be handed to them. And they were wondering how we would run service the next Sunday. And I went to Rose Morris. I went to this, my friend. I said, I'm starting church tomorrow. I don't have money to buy musical instruments. But I promise you, that if you give me everything we need, I'll come back and pay you. And he gave us, man, the guys who were not with us came the next Sunday to see what would happen. We had, what's the name of those kind of sound? We had a massive, oh God, what is it? I've forgotten nowadays. We had everything. In fact, we had more instruments than we had ever had. Yeah, thank you very much for finding that, Rose Morris. Oh, man, that's so emotional for me. Yeah. So go back to what we're teaching, lack of wealth habits. You need to form wealth habits. If you only did a thing for 2-3 days and you didn't continue, then it's not yet a habit. They say 21 days. I'll say you need more than 21 days for some things to be a habit. Then once it becomes a habit, it's part of you. Wealth creation must be a habit. You teach your family. They can't say, no, I'll start tomorrow. Have you seen people who want to stop sugar? And they sell some nice ice cream with some cones inside, with some toppings, and the thing is looking so nice, and they can feel it, and they are salivating, and they can just imagine the taste in their throat. It's probably an ice cream that has various, as chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, and all the toppings. Weight loss is possible. It's only possible when you tell yourself, this is a bigger value to this ice cream. Then you walk away. So habits is something you do for long, then you're able to form it. Number 2, wealth killer is sudden wealth laziness syndrome. What is sudden wealth laziness syndrome? Sudden wealth laziness syndrome is when wealth suddenly comes into your hand and you have not formed wealth habits. You will not know how to shift. You will either swing too far left and run away from the wealth, just keep it somewhere, or you will swing too far right. I want to prove that you have arrived. That is one of the reasons why most young people who make money in the world of sports lose it. Sudden wealth laziness syndrome. 85% of soccer, basketball, American football stars become broke between 5 and 10 years after retirement. Some before they retire, between 5 and 10 years. What has helped some of them is they met a mentor. Somebody like Shaquille O'Neal, basketball, met a mentor who taught him how to invest. This guy, I think he has probably, who knows, 300, 400 chains of eateries. Man, that is that's not stream. That is rivers, man, rivers. Has other chains, has shopping malls, and knows where the need is. He's also doing social. Then there's some people who swing too far into just social responsibility. No. You could do social responsibility. I've always taught you do social responsibility, but don't make that your only core. Rivers, Shaquille O'Neal, Jordan became the first billionaire who turned the wealth from his sports into business. Became, for example, contractor for other sports, was the one who produced all the shirt for PSG some 2-3 years ago. Imagine how many fans bought that shirt. If you only made $10 on every shirt times 200,000 fans, that is huge. Sudden wealth syndrome is when you make the wealth and you don't know what to do. And there has been people like that. That's the reason lottery winners lose it. Because suddenly they wake up from being people who had 5,000-10,000 pounds as savings. They have $20 million. And somebody say, hey, you got to be living it. So the first thing they do is buy a house. And they don't know that big house, big problem, man. Big issues, man. Big challenges, man. Maintaining the lift in my house It's probably, who knows, I don't even know how much I pay, probably $1,000 or $2,000 every year for them to service just the elevator in my house. That's just elevator. Electricity in Africa is like, when you have it, Jesus, man, it's more than your grandmother's dowry, your mother's dowry, and everybody's dowry, and your wife's dowry. I pay in Africa almost close to, Jesus, man, almost close to 600 pounds a month or more. It used to be 1,000 pounds a month, then the currency fell in value. You believe that? 1,000 pounds electricity every month. That would have to be, I don't know. Pastor CNC pays the electricity in our house. I don't even know how much we're paying. I just come and I must see electricity. Can you believe that? Jesus, man, she takes care of all those small bills. If you leave it to me, I will sleep in the dark. I wouldn't know when it is to be paid. Thank God for her. It takes care of the electricity, the water. I don't even know. I just come and turn the water. Water must flow. I only do the big bills. I have no time for all those 100 pounds, 200 pounds. How did water get there? How did food get in the fridge? I just do the big bills. Sudden wealth syndrome is when you have the money, you didn't know what to do. First thing a person who has 10 million pounds, or a person who an inheritance was left for them, 5 million pounds, to do is not to go buy themselves a Porsche, a Lamborghini. Then they buy a car they can't maintain to impress friends who are not impressed. And after 2 days of your friends being impressed, they move on to something else. So what does this person do to overcome sudden wealth laziness syndrome and creating wealth for your family? The moment the money came into your hand, you need to look for financial advisors, and that in itself is a funny one, because most people who are financial advisors are themselves people who earn less than you. They just know the theory. Maybe the best thing would be to register in Wealth MasterClass, and we can show you what to do if you do a one-on-one at the presidential class with me. You say, I have these 10,000 pounds, I have this 1 million pounds. What do I do with it? We can walk you through how you can invest it in real estate or diversify into other things too. It keeps perpetuating. You didn't suddenly change your life. It's rich and poor people who like to dress rich. Rich and poor people like to dress rich. They want you to see the logo, the label. Wealthy people, they're already wealthy. They don't need to impress to prove. Poor people need to impress to prove. Number 3, lack of concentrated wealth. In other words, you have not focused your wealth on certain sectors. There are people who have £1 million, but their money is in 20 investments. Rolling stones gather no moss. You need to have critical mass in 1 or 2, 3 areas. You need to have concentration in either real estate and probably stocks and shares. You know by now, I'm not a great Bitcoin and any coin fan. You want to do those ones? The day I become convinced, I'll be the #1 teacher. Up till now, I'm not yet convinced that any of you should put a lot of money in any of those coins. The reason, as you can see, they are still going up and down like yo-yo, and money is disappearing. A billionaire yesterday suddenly becoming a mill today. There's no place where wealth cannot go down. That's true. But you see, the problem with all those e-money, coin-based money, and so on, is the fact that you can't see where it started and you can't see where it ended. Give me the British pound. I know who signed on the back of the British pound. I know the government behind the British pound. If the government of Sunak is going down, I know the pound will go down. I know where the strength of the British economy is behind the pound. And then when it comes to greenback, the good old greenback, the American dollar, you know that one of the strongest economy in the world is behind this greenback, man. Can't go down that easily. The reason currencies of the world go up and down is the strength of their economy. The Nigerian economy, again, I quote my country, is in a mess. The government previous have messed everything up. They borrowed money of 10 generations. And some people are lying to themselves that one day the currency would rise and become strong. The other day I brought out my passport and looked at the back. In 1978, the first time I ever traveled, you bought $1,000 with the Nigerian currency 876 naira, 876. Bought $1,000. Something like that was 700 naira. Bought $1,000. Today, that money I mentioned doesn't buy $1. Why? Because if your economy is weak, your currency will be weak. But you see, we know where those currencies are. We know the yen, we know the yuan, we know the dollar, we know the peso of Ghana, we know the rubles of Russia, we know the rand of South Africa. Coins. They say somebody in some nebulous place created Bitcoin. We don't know his name. We don't know where he's coming from. Jesus, man, I can't put my life savings there. Have your wealth in concentration in key places. Key places. Number 4, wealth killer is breakdown in trust and communication. When there's a breakdown in trust and communication in families, there will be wealth waste. Sometimes people will be doing things, they'll be wasting, they'll be doubling on what they do. A family where they're not talking to each other, did you know they will have 2 cooking pots? Wife has a pot, husband has his pot. There's a serious breakdown in trust and communication. So it kills wealth, it reduces it. Number 5, parents not preparing children. So a man passed on in my country again 2 years ago, made a lot of wealth, had a lot of houses, and passed it to these boys, his sons, the first 4 sons. The girls, he left some houses. I mean, it comes from a culture where they elevate gender above capacity. The boys have gone to town. They are selling a house, and then next day they've traveled. They're today in Greece, tomorrow they're in Ireland. Yeah, they're just having a good time. They don't realize that one day all those houses will be totally sold. The parents never prepared them. 1 or 2 of them spent 7 years doing a degree. It just shows you a lack, an incapacitation. You need to prepare your children in a robust way, how to relate to the world, how to say yes, please, thank you, how to greet, how to honor. And you let the child know this is so important. You don't protect. You don't overprotect. So parents not preparing children makes them ruinous. I can give you stories and stories and stories of wealthy people who today the children are almost next to beggars because the parents never prepared them.